Welcome, everyone. Today's video is not a trend. It's not a productivity hack. And it's definitely not for people who just want a quick dopamine rush. This is for people who are done surviving, done repeating the same habits, done pretending like they're okay. This video is for the version of you that's been screaming inside. I know I was meant for more than this. And for the next 21 days, we're going to rebuild you. One challenge at a time, one truth at a time, one step toward the life you were born for. But to truly understand what we're doing here, you have to understand something most people never do. The war isn't out there. It's in here, in your subconscious mind. Nikola Tesla once said, if you want to understand the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. But what he didn't say is this: you are a frequency machine, and the settings were programmed by your past, by your trauma, by your parents, by your fears, by every time someone told you, don't try too hard, you're not good enough, you'll never make it. Here's the painful truth. 95% of your thoughts, decisions, emotions, and actions are not made by you. They're made by your subconscious Reprogram. Your subconscious mind is like the operating system behind your life. It decides what you believe, what you fear, what you deserve, what you settle for. And if you don't rewrite that program, you'll live the same day for the rest of your life. What is the subconscious? In simple words, let me explain it in a way even a child would understand. Imagine your brain is a smartphone. Your conscious mind is like the screen. What you see, tap, scroll. But your subconscious mind, that's the entire operating system running in the background. You don't see it, but it controls everything. It decides how fast phone runs, what apps you can use, and whether the phone even works at all. Now, imagine if that operating system was filled with viruses. Beliefs like, I'm not good enough, I always mess things up, people like me never succeed. And then you wonder why you fail, why you're stuck, why motivation never lasts. It's not it's your programming, and it's time to uninstall it. That's what these 21 days are for. This isn't a challenge. It's a reconstruction, a deep wiring of who you are, what you believe, and how you live. So today, we begin. Challenge 1. Identity your limiting beliefs. Before you build a new life, destroy the lies that control it. Let me ask you something powerful. What lies have you been calling truth your whole life? Because the truth is, you don't need to be more productive. You need to stop being poisoned. You can't pour fresh water into a cup filled with acid. So today, before you set goals or build habits, we clean the mental cup. What to do? Sit down with a blank page. Write 3 limiting beliefs that come up when you think about your future. Some examples: I'm too old to change. I'll never be consistent. I always ruin everything. Be brutally honest. These are not affirmations. These are the lies you've been programmed with. Now, for each one, flip it. Turn that belief into its opposite. I'm too old to change. This is the perfect time to become who I was always meant to be. I always ruin everything. I've made mistakes, but I learn fast and grow stronger. I'll never be consistent. I can become consistent because I now understand what blocked me. Speak these new beliefs out loud. Your subconscious doesn't respond to wishes. It responds to repetition. Say it every day out loud, like you mean it. Let's take Anna, a 32-year-old woman who wants to become a speaker. Her beliefs: nobody will listen to me. I don't speak good English. I'm too shy. She flips them. My voice matters. I will connect with the right people. I can learn English fluently one day at a time. My shyness is not a weakness, it's my quiet strength. She writes them, speaks them, lives them, and 6 months later, she speaks in her first podcast. Why? Because she didn't just change her words, she changed her beliefs, and beliefs control your life. Most people try to change their actions without changing their beliefs. It's like trying to build a mansion on top of broken ground. If your foundation is full of doubt, shame, and fear, every goal you build on top of it will fall. This challenge destroys the weak foundation and replaces it with strength. That's challenge 1. A mirror, a reset, a crack in the old program. Because before we can rise, we must know what we've been buried under. Challenge 2. The dopamine reset. 10-minute digital detox. Your brain is fried, not because you're lazy, but because it's overloaded. Now we give it space to breathe, to heal, to remember what clarity feels like. Let me ask you a question that no one else dares to ask. When was the last time your brain was quiet? I don't mean silent in the room. I mean silent inside our head. Most people alive today are not living. They're scrolling, switching, jumping, reacting, from one notification to another, from one video to the next, from one quick check to an entire hour gone in a black hole of content. And these say they can't focus. They say they're tired. They say they're unmotivated. But the truth is, they're not broken. They're just overstimulated. They've been hijacked by the most addictive drug of this generation, dopamine. Dopamine is the chemical in your brain that gives you the feeling of "I want this." When you see a notification, your brain releases dopamine. When someone likes your post, dopamine. When you eat junk food, dopamine. When you see a new message, dopamine. It's not bad, but too much. Dopamine from unnatural sources, screens, sugar, scrolling, makes your brain sick. It's like giving a child unlimited candy. They become wild, restless, unfocused. That's how your brain feels right now. Tired, burned out, but constantly chasing more. Most people who say they have no motivation, no energy, no focus, no patience, aren't lazy. They're just living in a constant state of mental chaos. Because the brain was not designed for this much input, this much noise, this much stimulation every second. You were not meant to check 17 apps before brushing your teeth. You were not meant to scroll past 1,000 faces before lunchtime. You were not meant to see news, war, gossip, jokes, lies, all in 5 minutes. That's not laziness, that's neurochemical. So today, we begin the healing challenge to 10-minute digital detox greater than 10 minutes. No phone, no screen, no scroll, just silence. Not for punishment, but for recovery. How to do it? Find a place with no distractions, no TV, no laptop, no phone. Set a timer for 10 minutes. Put your phone in another room. Turn it off if needed. Sit or walk in silence. That's it. Don't try to meditate. Don't do anything. Just notice what happens inside you. How uncomfortable it feels at first. How you keep reaching for your phone mentally. How your thoughts bounce around. Let them, observe them, and let your brain begin to exhale. Do this challenge once today. But understand this. This 10 minutes is not about silence. It's about power. The power to reclaim your mind best. If you cannot sit with your own thoughts for 10 minutes, how will you ever trust them for a lifetime? This is the beginning of retraining. Your brain to feel peace without noise, to feel joy without distraction, to feel alive without checking a screen. And that is rare. In a world full of stimulation addicts, this is rebellion. And in rebellion, you find freedom. Let me tell you about Leo, a 24-year-old man trying to become a writer. He was frustrated every time he tried to write. He got distracted, bored, restless. He thought something was wrong with him until he realized he couldn't even sit still for 5 minutes without reaching for his phone. He did this 10-minute detox every day for 7 days. And something strange happened. At first he felt anxious, then bored, then calm, then suddenly ideas started flowing. He wrote 2 full chapters in one sitting. Why? Because his brain was no longer begging for escape. It had finally come home to itself. Silence is uncomfortable only for people who are running from their own mind. Most people can't be alone with their thoughts because they've been suppressing pain for too long. The phone needs a shield. The scrolling is an escape, but healing doesn't happen through escape. It happens through attention. Attention is the new oxygen, and this challenge gives you that breath. The secret, it's not about time, it's about discipline. Anyone can scroll for 3 hours. But very few people can disconnect for 10 minutes. And in those 10 minutes, you're doing more for your brain than any book, any quote, any podcast can ever do. You're teaching your brain, I am in control, not the algorithm, not the screen, me. After your 10 minutes airy over, write down what did you feel? What thoughts came up? What were you afraid to feel? This turns the challenge into therapy, into clarity, into transformation. You're not lazy. You're not broken. You're not unmotivated. You're just overstimulated. And this challenge is your antidote. Silence is not the enemy. It's the door. And when you walk through it, you'll meet the version of you that's been buried beneath the noise. That's challenge 2. Silent, powerful, revolutionary. And if someone truly completes this, not just watches it, they will feel different within 24 hours. Challenge 3. Practice 5 minutes off mental. You've been stuck in the past and anxious about the future. Come back to now. 5 minutes. No judgment. Just presence. This is not about peace. This is about power. Let's be honest. Most people don't live in the present moment. They live in 2 places, and both are prisons. 1, the past. Regret, shame, I should have. I could have. Why did I? 2, the future. Fear, anxiety. What if I fail? What if they leave me? What if I never change? But nowhere in that story do they live in the one place that matters. Here now, this breath, this second this moment. The moment you're reading these words, you're alive. But are you actually here? Or are you lost in some thought about yesterday or 10 minutes from now? This is the core problem of the human mind. We're always somewhere, and if you live in your head, you will die in your life. Mindfulness is not just for monks. It's not a calm activity. It's not about flowers, and mindfulness is a weapon, a way to take control back from your chaotic brain. When you learn how to sit in the present moment, you stop being a puppet to your fears. You stop being pulled into storms that no longer exist. Because when you're present, there is no fear. There is no shame. There is only awareness. And awareness is the beginning of all transformation. Imagine your thoughts are like clouds moving across the sky. Some are dark, some are light, some move fast, some slow. Mindfulness is not chasing those clouds. It's sitting on the ground, looking at the sky and saying, that's just our thought. I don't have to follow it. That's just a memory. I don't have to live it. That's just anxiety. I don't have to believe it. Mindfulness is learning to watch the storm without becoming it. And once all on that skill, you become unshakable. Don't do it to feel better. Do it to wake up. How to do it? Set a timer for 5 minutes. That's it. Just 5. Sit comfortably. No need to cross legs or look fancy. Just sit. Close your eyes. Take a slow, deep breath. Focus only on your breath. Feel the air enter you. Feel it move through your chest. Feel it leave your body. Repeat. Thoughts will come. They might scream. They might distract. That's okay. That's normal. Here's the key. Don't fight the thought. Don't judge yourself. Just say, that's a thought, and return to your breath. Keep coming back. That's the practice. That's the power. Let me tell you about Alina, a 40-year-old single mother of 2. Every night, she would lie in bed with her heart racing, worries about bills, her kids, her job, her body, her future. She started doing this 5-minute practice. The first 3 days, she cried. She felt overwhelmed. Her mind was loud like a storm. But something strange happened on day 4. For the first time in years, she noticed silence between her thoughts, a moment of peace. Then she noticed her heartbeat slowing down, then her breathing deepening, then her mind softening. And by day 10, her kids, "Mama, you look calm now," her daughter said. That one moment made Alina realize, I'm not broken. I've just never been present. Most people live in survival mode because their brain is constantly alert, constantly reacting, fearing, worrying, defending. This challenge rebuilds your nervous system. It teaches your mind. You are safe. You don't need to panic every second. You are here. You are alive. You are okay. And from that place, you make better decisions. You speak more clearly. You stop overthinking. You become still. And in stillness, you become powerful. If your mind is too loud during this challenge, that doesn't mean you're doing it wrong. It means you're finally listening. You're finally hearing all the noise you've ignored for years. And that's healing. That's courage. Because most people never face their thoughts. They just run. They scroll. They numb. But you're sitting in it. You're watching it. And you're returning to your breath. That is mastery. After your 5 minutes, write down what thought showed up the most. Was there a moment of stillness? What did you learn about yourself in those 5 minutes? Because the deepest lessons you'll ever learn in life won't come from books. They'll come from the silence you learn to sit inside of. This is not about meditation. This is not about peace. This is not about escaping life. This is about facing life fully, honestly, without distractions. Because the person who can sit with their mind becomes the person who can master their life. And that's what you're becoming now. That is challenge 3. Not just a mental practice, but a foundational shift in the way you experience life. Challenge 4. Write down 3. Past mistakes plus lessons. You're not a failure. You're a learner with scars. Let's break a painful truth. Most people not live in the present, not because of fear of the future, but because they are still bleeding from their past. They made one mistake and never forgave it. They hurt someone and carry the shame every day. They trusted the wrong person and now they trust no one. They failed once and now they call themselves But the truth is, you are not your past. You are what you learned from it. And if you don't learn the lesson, you repeat the pain. That's why Thishaling is not just about healing. It's about evolution. Your brain is wired to remember pain more than success. It's a survival mechanism. But when you don't process that pain, it becomes your identity. You stop taking chances. You stop opening your heart. You stop trusting. So today, we take your worst moments and turn them into the fuel that builds your future. Regret is just wisdom trapped in pain. Let's free it. What to do? Take a pen and paper. Write down 3 things you deeply regret. A mistake, a choice, a lie, a missed chance. Something you never forgave yourself for. For each one, ask yourself, what did this teach? What did I learn about people, life, and myself? How has this made me wiser, stronger, more aware? Then write this sentence. I made this mistake. I am not this mistake. I carry the lesson. I release the shame. Read it out loud. Let me tell you about Daniel, 19 years old. He cheated on his final exam. He was caught. He lost his scholarship. His parents were ashamed. His teachers called him a disgrace. For 2 years, he stopped believing in himself. He worked small jobs. He avoided old friends. Every time he saw a student in a uniform, he looked away until one day he wrote about it. He wrote exactly what happened. He wrote how much he hated himself. And then he asked himself, what did this teach me? His answer shocked him. I didn't cheat because I was evil. I cheated because I was scared. I didn't believe in myself. And I let fear make the decision for me. That one truth saved his life. He applied again to university. He wrote about that failure in his entrance essay. They accepted him because he stopped hiding the mistake. He used it as proof of growth. Most people think their past ruins them. But in reality, their relationship with the past is what destroys them. Your mistake didn't kill you, but your self-hatred might. So today, we do something very few people ever do. We honor the past and then let it go, because healing is remembering without pain. Call or message someone who hurt. Say one sentence. I'm not who I used to be, and I'm sorry for how I act. Not for them, for your freedom. You don't need their forgiveness. You just need to be free from the shame. The reason people repeat the same pain is because they never gave it a purpose. Your pain has meaning. Your scars are your story, but you cannot carry them forever. So today we transform them into wisdom, because the world doesn't need more perfect people. It needs more healed people who own their story. And no, you are becoming one of them. Challenge 5. Visualize your dream life. If you can see it, your brain can believe it, and your habits will follow. Most people live their entire life without ever asking, what do I actually want? Not what society says, not what your parents wanted, not what your friends are doing, but you. Your life, your truth. Because if you don't know where you're going, your habits will take you nowhere. The brain needs a destination. That's how it works. And this challenge gives it one. Your brain doesn't know the difference between imagination and reality. That's why you cry during movies. That's why you feel fear from a memory. So when you visualize your dream life clearly, emotionally, deeply, your brain starts building belief systems around it. You stop saying, it's impossible. I can't do it. That's not for people like me. and you start saying, wait, this feels real. This feels possible. This feels like home. Because the mind can't move toward a blurry goal. It needs clarity. If your dream doesn't exist in your mind, it will never exist in your life. What to do? Find a quiet space. Sit or lie down. Close your eyes. Breathe slow. Ask yourself, what does my dream life feel like? Where am I waking up? What kind of clothes do I wear? What work am I doing? Who is next to me? What is the energy around me? How do I carry myself? Let your brain go wild. Feel it, see it, smell it, hear it. Now, open your eyes. Take your journal and write a paragraph that starts with, my dream life looks like this. Don't write what's realistic. Write what sets your soul on fire. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine this. You wake up not to an alarm clock, but to the sound of soft waves outside your window. Your home is built on a quiet hill near the ocean. The sunlight enters through giant glass windows, gently touching the white curtains. You stretch your arms and smile, not because it's a weekend, but because every day of your life now feels like one. You walk barefoot on the wooden floor of your dream house. Warm, peaceful, calm. The air smells like coffee and ocean breeze. Your kitchen, it's modern, spotless, filled with your favorite foods, colors, and a small coffee bar you always wanted. There's an open bookshelf in the living room, filled with books that once changed your life. Now they sit like trophies. Every room in the house tells a story. The art on the walls isn't expensive. It's meaningful. It reminds you how far you've come. Your work desk overlooks the sea. You no longer work to survive. You work to create, to inspire, to enjoy. You walk into the backyard. There's a small garden you planted. A tree with a bench under it. A journal what's on that bench. You sit, you write, you feel alive. You no longer chase peace. You live inside it. This isn't just a house. This is your dream life. Use this kind of vision, detailed, emotional, real, to guide your daily actions. Don't just say, I want a better life. See it, feel it, hear it, smell it, taste it. Write down your dream life in full detail. Your home, your mornings, your food, your work, your health, your energy, your relationships, your peace. Keep this vision in your journal, on your wall, or inside your heart, and let it pull you forward every single day. Because when you can visualize it clearly, you start living it powerfully. Record a voice note describing your dream life. Play it every morning, every night. Remind your brain who you are becoming. Speak the future until the future. Most people don't live their dream life because they've never actually defined it. They're chasing status, money, fame, comfort, but none of those are clear. This challenge brings you clarity, and clarity kills confusion. And when confusion dies, action begins. If you don't build your dream life in your mind, you'll spend your whole life trapped in someone else's. So today you don't dream small. You don't hold back. You don't ask what's realistic. You close your eyes and you let your future self speak because they're already waiting for you. And now you're finally walking toward them. Challenge 6. Write a promise to your future self. This is not a task. This is a contract with your next chapter. Let me ask you something dangerous. What do you owe to your future self? Not to your family, not to your followers, not to society, but to you. The version of you 6 months from now, a year from now, the one who is still waiting for you to stop making excuses. You see, we make promises to everyone else. I'll be there. I'll call you. I'll do my best. But the one person we break promises to the most is ourselves. And that's why your self-worth is low, because your subconscious remembers every time you said, "Tomorrow I'll start. This is the last time. Next month you'll be better," and you didn't. You didn't lie to the world. You lied to yourself. That's why this challenge isn't about writing a goal. It's about rebuilding trust with the most important person in your life, you. The subconscious mind doesn't care about motivation. It only responds to evidence. Every time you break your word to yourself, you give your brain proof that you are not serious, not consistent, not worthy of trust. And that belief destroys your ability to take action. But when you make a promise and honor it, something magical happens. Your subconscious begins to believe. Maybe we can change. Maybe we are becoming something new. And from belief comes momentum. Not a wish, not a dream, a vow, something sacred, something non-negotiable. How to do it? Close your eyes. Visualize a future self, 6 months or 1 year from now. Where are they standing? What do they look like? What energy do they carry? What have they survived? Ask this version of yourself, what do you need from me today? What habits, decisions, and courage do I owe you? Now, write this sentence. From this day forward, I promise myself. Speak it out loud. Slowly, emotionally, not like a quote, like a declaration, like a spiritual contract. Write this promise somewhere visible on your wall, on your mirror, in your phone. Read it every single day until your soul believes it. Let me tell you about Andre, a 36-year-old man who used to weigh 130 kilograms. He was bullied his entire childhood. Every year he promised himself, next year I'll lose weight. But he never did because it was always a goal, never a vow. One night, after binge eating alone, crying in his room, he stood in front of the mirror and whispered, "From this day forward, I promise myself, I will never abandon my health again." He didn't say, "I'll lose 30 kilograms." He didn't say, "I'll go to the gym." He made a vow to stop abandoning himself. That promise changed his life. Not because of the weight, but because for the first time he felt like a man he could trust. This challenge makes your transformation personal. It's no longer about likes, goals, or results. It's about integrity. The silent power of being someone who does what they say, even when no one is, even when it's hard, even when you're tired. Because one day your future self will look back and say, "Thank you for not giving up on me when it was easier to stay broken." Don't write a big list. Don't try to be perfect. Just write one promise that feels so true, so sacred, so powerful that breaking it would feel like betraying your soul. That is how you changed your identity. One vow at a time, one commitment at a time, one decision that echoes into your future. And from this day forward, you are no longer a maybe. You are a promise in motion. Challenge 7. Clean one physical space around you. Your outer world reflects your inner world. Let's take back control, one corner at a time. This is not a cleaning task. This is not about organizing your life like a productivity guru. This is about one thing, control. When life feels heavy, when your mind feels scattered, when nothing seems to make sense, the one thing you can take back is your environment. You can't fix your past today. You can't fix the economy. You can't fix other people. Butu can clean the drawer beside your bed. You can fold the clothes on your chair. You can make your bed like you're preparing for war. And that simple act tells your brain, I am not helpless. I am not stuck. I am in charge of my world. Even if it's just this one shelf, your brain is constantly taking signals from your environment. Cluttered room equals overwhelmed mind. Dirty kitchen equals delayed decisions. Messy closet equals mental fog. But when you clean even one small corner, you activate a part of your brain that says, I am no longer surviving. I am building. I am coming back to life. Not for beauty, for power. How to do it? Pick one small area that feels messy, heavy, chaotic. Examples: your desk, one a drawer, your bed, a corner of your room, one shelf in your kitchen. Set a timer for 20 minutes. No phone, no distractions. Clean it like you're preparing for a new identity. Not like you're organizing, like you're creating a space for a warrior, a creator, a healer to exist. When you finish, stand back, look at it, take a deep breath, and whisper, this is the beginning of. This is the space for the next version of me. Last year, I was depressed. Not kind of depression people post about, the silent kind, the invisible kind. I couldn't focus. I stopped believing in myself. My room was a disaster. Clothes everywhere, books stacked like bricks, bottles, wrappers, dust. It looked like I had given up. And maybe I had. One night I looked around. I asked myself, if someone walked in Titha's room right now, what would they learn about me? The answer broke my heart. They would see pain, chaos, and no hope. So, I stood up. It was 2:14 a.m., no music, no phone, just me and themes as I had created. I started with the floor, then the table, then the shelves. I didn't know it then, but I wasn't just cleaning my room. I was cleaning missedness, my pain, my stuck energy. As the sun came up, my room looked, but more importantly, I looked different. I felt powerful again. I had proof. I can change something. I can take control. I am not my chaos. Not my past. That day taught me something I'll never forget. When life feels too big to fix, start small. Start with your desk, your bed, your bag, anything. Because when you clean one physical space, you send your brain a message. We are not done. We are not broken. We are just beginning again. This is not about tidiness. This is about identity. It's about rewriting the story of your environment, so your environment can support your growth. Because your surroundings are not just background, they are signals. And today we make sure those signals say a powerful person lives here. A person with direction. A person who respects their space because they respect their future. You don't need to clean your whole life in one day. You just need to start. Pick in space. Clean it with pride and let that space become the symbol of a new era. Because once you control your environment, you start believing you can control your destiny. And that belief is the first step to becoming unstoppable. Final challenge 8. Forgive someone who hurt you. You cannot become your future self if your soul is still chained to old pain. Today we cut the rope. You can do everything right. You can meditate. Clean your room. Visualize your dream life. Write your promises. fix your habits. But if deep inside you are still holding on to anger, bitterness, pain, or resentment, you're still a prisoner, not of others, but of your own heart. Because forgiveness is not about them, it's about you, your freedom, your healing, your ability to finally move. And most people never move forward because they never truly let go. Let's be very clear. Forgiveness does not mean that what they did was okay, that you forget the pain, that you allow them back in your life, that they whine and you lose. No, forgiveness means I will no longer let this pain poison me. I will no longer carry this person's mistake inside my body. I deserve peace. I deserve freedom. And I'm choosing it now, even if they never apologize. Forgiveness is not weakness. It is the highest form of strength. It's saying, you no longer have access to my nervous system. You no longer control my emotions. You no longer get to live in my head-wrenchery. Forgiveness is not a gift to them. It is a release for you. You've carried this long enough. It's time to let go. How to do it? Close your eyes. Breathe deeply. Go back to the moment, the wound, the betrayal, the lie. Let your mind bring up the person you've still not forgiven. Feel it. Don't fight it. Let yourself feel the disappointment, the anger, the tears, the betrayal, the helplessness. Let it rise. Now, whisper or write these words. You hurt me. You betrayed my trust. You left a scar I never deserved. But today, I set myself free. I forgive you. Not because you deserve it, but because I do. I deserve peace. I deserve joy. I deserve a future that is not held hostage by the past. So, I let go. Not for you, but for me. Now, take a deep breath. Exhale. Say it again slowly, meaningfully. I forgive you and I free myself. Optional. Write a letter to them. Buttoned. Send it. Write everything you ever wanted to say. Let it pour out. Then tear the page or burn it. Symbolically, release it. Imagine this. You're holding a burning piece of coal tightly in your hand. Your hand is in pain. It's turning good, blistering, but you refuse to let it go. You say this coal represents what they did to me. This is my proof that I was hurt. I will hold it until they understand how much they hurt me. But here's the truth. They don't feel the burn, you do. Every second you hold that pain, it's only burning you. It doesn't punish them. It only destroys your peace. Now imagine this. You finally open your hand and let that coal fall. You feel the pain still there, but it slowly starts to heal. The wound breathes. The fire is gone. And for the first time, you are free. The lesson? Forgiveness is not saying it didn't hurt. It's saying, I'm done letting it burn me every day. You don't forgive because they deserve peace. You forgive because you do. With a pens when you don't forgive. If you don't forgive, you start carrying bitterness in your voice, tension in your body, distrust in your relationships, walls around your heart, anxiety in your dreams, cynicism in your words. And over time, that weight turns into a life you didn't choose. You begin to punish new people for old pain. You'll reject love because it reminds you of the past. You stay stuck because the pain keeps you safe. But you weren't born to be safe. You were born to be whole. And wholeness requires release. You've done so much in this challenge. You've reflected. You've rewired your habits. You've reclined your space. You've visualized your future. You've written sacred. But if you don't release the poison, you'll carry it into your new life. This is the final door, not to healing, to liberation. And when you walk through it, everything becomes lighter. You don't forgive because they said sorry. You don't forgive because they earned it. You don't forgive because the world says you should. You forgive because you are finally ready to heal. And when you do, the chains fall, the weight drops, the storm ends, and first time in years, you take a full breath and feel free after all 8 challenges. Here's how to test if you truly completed this journey, not just watched it. Step 1. The mirror test. Stand in front of a mirror. Look yourself in the eyes and ask, did I show up for myself with full honesty, full emotion, and full presence? If your eyes tear up, if your voice shakes, you did it right. Step 2. The energy test. Close your eyes. Ask yourself, am I lighter than when I started this video? Am I more clear about who I want to become? Do I feel proud of showing up for myself? Do I feel closer to the version of me I've always wanted to be? If the answer is yes, you're no longer the same person who clicked this video. You've been. Step 3. The real life test. In the next 24 hours, do you treat people with more softness? Do you breathe more slowly? Do you walk with intention? Do you avoid the habits you promised to break? Do you feel something new deep inside? If you do, that's not that's transformation. That means you didn't just watch a video. You completed a soul challenge and you earned your new identity. And now here we are. You didn't just watch a video. You just completed something most people will never have the courage to even begin. You looked inside. You faced your wounds. You cleaned your space. You rewired your mind. You forgave. You let go. And you rose one challenge at a time. You've done what schools never teach, what the world never honors, and what most people spend their whole life avoiding. You chose to change. And that is rare. That is powerful. That is the beginning of a completely new life. Because if you can do these 8 challenges with honesty, with emotion, with full heart, there is nothing in this world you can't become. So as you walk into the next chapter of your life, don't forget this. Your past does not define you. Your fears do not own you. And your future is not written yet. Because today you became Thothor. Subscribe because this channel is not about noise. It's about truth. It's about healing. It's about transformation. And you are now part of something bigger than a video. You are part of a movement. A place where broken people become powerful again. So hit that subscribe button, backhouse. This is just the beginning. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being brave. And from the bottom of my heart, God bless you on your journey. I'll see you in the next chapter.